Star Trek, the animated series, The Practical Joker. It starts off with the Klingons. Oh, wait. Apparently the Romulans. Let's take a look at this episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it.
Subscribe to TrekTrav now.
I actually had tons of fun with this episode. It was silly, wacky, fun, adventurous. I think it's been done in Star Trek since. And it's always fun to have Major Barrett star as the funny one. The Enterprise is exploring asteroids, and they come across 3 Klingon ships. Oh wait, Romulan ships. I'm gathering the animation was cheaper, but I was like, oh, Klingons, this is quick. And then, oh no, it was Romulans. So it lends to the theory that the Romulans and the Klingons are actually sharing technology. So the Romulans chase the Enterprise goes through an energy field, and they manage to escape the Romulans. Then some weird shit happens. They're having dinner, all of their drinks spill on them. And then a range of wacky things start to happen. Now let's talk about this seriously, right? The silliness of this episode is pretty much around the different practical jokes. We have things like the drinks spilling on them, Spock using a piece of computer that gives him black rings around his eyes. Like these are, I want to say, these are very 60s, 70s, 80s, like what an adult thinks a practical joke is. Not to mention a bunch of dad jokes in this episode. And it genuinely surprised me how much I just enjoyed it being a bit silly. Because the TOS lends itself to silly quite often. We have Kirk as a jerk, which is a big meme in the Star Trek community, and I didn't know it came from this episode, so I was genuinely like, okay, that's quite amusing. I do like the fact that when the practical jokes are happening, right, the crew laughs at some of them. A good example is Sulu laughs, but it's George Takei like barely laughing, and it's just really fun to see, and Kirk laughs, and they all sort of take it in stride. They think there's a practical joker amongst the crew, and they sort of start blaming people a little bit. And when they're sort of trying to work it out, they're sort of like, oh, why would this happen? We get the Enterprise covered in ice, so it's really slippery. Uhura, McCoy, and Sulu go to the rec room / the holodeck, and they're trapped in there, they go for a relaxation, to relax from all the practical jokes. They go in there, it's a big forest, and the computer sets up a trap where they fall down a hole. Then persists to dad joke them to annoyance. And it's really funny. The computer doesn't want to tell Kirk where they are, makes him say please, pretty please, which, to be honest, I think Kirk should be more polite to his computer. It was just fun, just a funny romp. The computer just starts laughing, and they haven't quite worked out it's the computer yet. They know practical jokes are going on, but they hear a laugh. And the laugh, obviously, to fans of Star Trek, we know it's Major Barrett. But they find out that it is the computer, and the computer's actually doing all these practical jokes. Don't know how it wrote on Kirk's shirt. But genuinely, it's quite interesting. They try and turn the computer off. It tries to protect themselves. It removes the gravity. With Bones, Uhura, and Sulu, they are put on a frozen planet, and they're almost bordering on torture for the computer's amusement, which is a fun. It adds sort of it adds the tension that sort of the episode needs. Otherwise, it's just silly. It's a silly story. And to be fair, it is still a silly story, but just with a little tad of tension. The characterization of each of the characters and how they do things is really good. I really like Bones sort of giving up and going on my old bones, and they won't leave him. And then the computer decides that it doesn't want to kill them. It just wants to have a little bit of fun. So it sends them back to another rec room environment, and they come up with the idea to go around the wall. Well, when they're in the snow, they come up with the idea to go find the walls, and eventually they can feel their way out. And my question is how big is the rec room that they need to keep walking for a long period of time? And also, if it's like the holodeck, the environment will move with them. The best thing they could do, if this is an unsophisticated holodeck, is go in different directions, because the holodeck wouldn't be able to keep up with the movements of all of them.
Of course, and these rocks and vegetations have a much simpler pattern.
Correct, sir. The rear wall,
I can't see it.
we're right next to it.
Incredible.
Unless it's like holodecks in TNG and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, where it does and it has no real limit. The holodeck is a cruel mistress of dodgy science. Is it an actual environment? Is this actual snow? Is the room their space? Does it move with them? Or can they go anywhere? How do they go anywhere? Because it's still a room? We don't know. The holodeck is really hard to explain in Star Trek, but it's also just sort of a thing for fun. Kirk comes up with a way to... Well, they finally realise, to be honest, that when they flew through the plasma field, or the field that they went through, that it did something to the computers. And so they've got to get back there. The computer doesn't want to, though, and it wants to get revenge on the Romulans for shooting at it, which is weird, because technically that would mean the computer is alive. And the computer is sort of trying to protect itself. So I was sort of sitting there and going, if this was another story, like if this is Sora from Discovery, they would be sort of like, okay, we need to sort of deal with the emotional impact. This was just, we need to shut this fucking thinking for itself down, which is fine. I did like the fact that the computer tried to protect itself and it tries to fight the Romulans. And then Kirk goes into some rambling, like, I'm really, really scared of the plasma field and blah, blah, blah. And like William Shatner overacting being scared was amusing. And so the Enterprise decides, well, I want to fucking make him scared, which isn't a practical joke. I don't know how that works, but obviously the computer's moved on from that. And the Enterprise takes them to the plasma field, and Kirk's still pretending. And when they go through the plasma field, the Romulans are following them, and they go through the plasma field as well. The Enterprise starts to feel more normal, sounds more robotic. They get through, all of their systems are cured. And then they get a message, then they listen to the Romulans. Romulans, bad security on your shipboard stuff. And they are getting their food dispensers filling up the room and all the practical stuff. And they rightly go, well, we'll tell them, but not right now. Let them enjoy their time. Now, what I liked about this episode was it is, I wouldn't say it's kiddie, but also like it's just a little bit of fun. I feel like the storyline is so simple that this is a fun episode that you don't have to think too much about. It's kind of what you expect episodes of the animated series to be, because it was for kids. Whereas a lot of the episodes are trying to tell big concept stories in like a 20-25 minute runtime. And this one, I genuinely like. This second season, this one's my favorite. I've only got 2 episodes left, but this one is my favorite in terms of just a fun ride, just something that kids and their parents can enjoy. It's a bit wacky. Major Barrett is clearly having a wacky time. She does comedy really, really well. We know this as the computer voice. The actors were the characters are laughing at each other, having a bit of fun in the beginning. Like there's just the right amount of tension, not too much to make it unfunny, but at the same time enough to make it feel like there were stakes in it. And the only thing is the Klingon ships. I do like the Klingon ships having the yellow on them, though. But the Klingon ships being the Romulans, are these Klingon ships or are these Romulan ships, or are they like a cross ship? I'm not quite sure. I'm gathering they just tried to save a little bit of dough. The animation was fun. It's like, I don't know. Nothing bothered me in this episode in the slightest, because I genuinely was just enjoying the silliness. And I needed a light pickup at the end of my day. What did you think about Star Trek the Animated Series, The Practical Joker? Is it one of your favorites? Do you hate it? Do you think the dad jokes are a little too much? They were someone's dad wrote this episode. It was genuinely like, oh, you fell down. Oh. Yes, they did. It's cringy, but good cringy. I have been TrekTrav. I will see you on Thursday for a Star Trek Enterprise review, Sundays for Star Trek Voyager, random episodes on Friday or Saturday night about random, mostly political topics. Thank you for watching.